Just something regarding recovery. I mean, we're talking about prepping for races and things like that, but the importance of recovery and how do you measure when someone needs to recover and things like that? Do you use something like a HRV or do you use what do you just perceive how you feel?
Yeah, I mean, just to say, so recovery is incredibly important because, if you're training, you have recovery and adaptation. Recovery is how readily you feel to train hard again or can train hard again, or feel normal. And adaptation takes weeks to months to years. If you recover badly, you'll adapt badly. And obviously, that's not what you want. You want to adapt. So, recovering well is incredibly important. And there are a few things you can do to obviously improve recovery. And the main thing is sleep, then refueling and fueling well. Even fueling well on the bike improves recovery off the bike. So, uh, causing less metabolic or muscle damage stress will be very important. If you feel well, you'll then have less fatigue going into the next days, which has been shown and has been proven. So feel well, feel high in your hard days, and you'll feel significantly better in the coming days. I have clients who use HRV, and it's a great tool. We use a 7-day rolling average with HRV and resting heart rates, but you also need to look at other factors. You can't just use HRV on its own because sometimes HRV is low. Like into a race, we would expect HRV to drop because of nerves, etc., excitement, normal race day things. But it doesn't mean you're going to perform badly. So use the numbers and look at them with everything together. How you feel, your rolling, resting heart rates. Obviously, and typically a higher HRV is better, but into a race, I'd expect it to drop slightly, and that's a normal response. Sometimes, as I said, you see low HRV values and someone performs very well. Likewise, it can be very high and you can perform badly. So yeah, I would look at everything in combination and make sure, as I said, sleep is right, fueling's right. So if you're looking at post-session recovery, if you're doing a hard session, 1 to 3, ideally 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 protein to carb ratio is very important. So 15, 20 grams of protein multiplied by 3 or 4 in carbohydrates, that's going to give you the best sort of recovery after a session. So get protein and carbs in as close as possible.
Like a steady stumpy.
Yeah, it could be like a serious stumpy. Yeah, there's a pretty good recovery drink. Rather that than nothing.
And I think that's a point we have to make is like there's a lot of tech out there, but what you just said is fuel correctly, because I mean HRV, just for the people out there again, is heart rate variability. So that means the difference between the time difference between your heartbeats and how that differs on the top and the bottom. It's a guy that writes quite well about this called Marco Altini, and the science out there is not 100% worked out, and I think that's what you said. Don't trust just that. If you wake up and your HRV is low, don't just say, "But I can't train today because my HRV is low." No, it's just you use a 7-day rolling average. So don't just go on one value.
Well, it's very similar to medicine as well. It's seldom that you react on one value. You need to see the trend over time.
Yes.
And that gives you a bigger, more insight into the bigger picture.
But sometimes it's incredibly spot on, and especially in a well-trained person, if it's low, or you see it a lot when people may have a lot of high work stress at work and life, everything else. HRV is low, and then you can kind of see, well, this is a red flag. Sometimes HRV is normal, and then they don't feel well at all. So yeah, as you said, look at everything together, but also how you feel, and yeah, take a more educated understanding, not just using one metric only, basically. But yeah, typically if we see higher resting heart rates and lower HRV, that's not a good sign. But it depends on many different factors.
Yeah.